Okay, the next thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that there are times when even me has to look at a manual at something. You know, a manual, the book that comes with something. For example, if I get, something for, well, let's say I got, I don't know, it's a bad example, but let's say I bought a new chandelier, or let's say I bought something for, let's say I bought a new garbage compactor, or even like a garbage can with the electronic lid. There might be an occasion where I want to figure out how something works or if I can get it to work better, and then I will always consult the documentation that came with the item. So, for example, I recently purchased a new, to me, used Mustang. Even though I call it used, it is a 2025 Mustang, and it did not come with a lot of miles on it, yet it was still used. So, anyways, it came with it came with the documentation, the manual, and then I had a couple questions, so I was able to consult the manual. I think it had something to do with tire pressure and oil type, and what kind of oil does it take. So I wanted to look at that, and I referenced the manual for that. Well, it's the same thing with Linux. There is an electronic manual that comes with the every Linux distribution, and sometimes you will have to load it if it doesn't there, if the man pages aren't there. But anyways, they are called the man pages, and what it does is it references it by the name of the program. So, for example, you may have seen me do something like, here, one second, let me center this so everyone can see. You may have seen me do something like utilize this, say, ls, that which lists the contents of the directories, but some of you may not realize that the letters ls means is, well, what the letters ls stand for is one thing, but what it actually is, it is a program that you're requesting to run. All right, so that's what ls is. So if you look at ls as a program, then you can understand how there is, for example, a man page dealing with ls. Now, the way man pages are set up, the typical framework for a man page is it starts off at the top, the name of the command and or function. So basically it's a program. So somewhere there's a program that somebody wrote a long time ago called ls, and that is the name of the program is also what you do to activate it, so you can look at it as a command or function. So the at the very top is the name of the program. Then we move on to the synopsis, or formal description of what the command does, or what the program does, and this is like a formal description. And then we have detailed description, and here's another key part of a typical man page. We have the options. So what an option is that it is a command line tick, if you will, or flag and options. So as an example, oh, sorry about that. I clicked the. Hey, I am on my MacBook, so you can see all the little. MacBook is based on Unix, and you can see that Unix and Linux are at least the terminals are very alike. But for example, if you want more information than what you have here, first off, I'm going to go back to my home directory, and if you're anywhere and you want to get back to your home directory, you just type in cd or change directory. And if you do pwd, now as you can see, we are back in our home directory. All right. Anyways, let's do ls again, and we can see the output right here. We can see some little programs I've been doing. And so, but if we wanted more detail, we would do ls, and then this is the tick, and the flag is we're doing L, which could be seen as like an option. And if we want more long form, that gives us more information. Okay, this gives us the date of creation. This tells us about the size of it. So, for example, let's say I'm going to touch, I'll just say, we'll call it sample.txt, okay? And we can do file sample touch txt, and it'll have a description of the file, okay? And we can do ls, and we can see that sample is right there. But if we do ls-l, and we can see the sample, where's sample.txt, and it gives us, all the information that we want. And all this is just has to do with permissions. It has 0 bits in it. However, if we said vim sample.txt and we said this is some information here, this is some information, and let's write, escape :wq, and then let's run ls-l again. And now under next to sample, we do have now there are 15 bits that are associated. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the date. I'm sorry. There are 27 bits associated with sample.txt. Okay, so 27 would be the size right here, and you can see it's all neat, neat in a row. So ls-l is a command line option, which allows us to see detailed information. You might even consider L as long. And you might say, what's another option? You can do ls-a, and that gives us all the hidden files. So that gives us a listing of literally all the files in here, ones that are expressed or obvious, and the ones that are hidden. And we can see the ones that are hidden have the dot next to it. So the reason why there are some hidden files here is because those might be raw config files, so they actually configure what you see in front of you. Okay, and now the main point of this is we need to ask ourselves, all right, what does it have to do with man pages? What it has to do is that if we wanted to know more extensions with the ls command, like for example ls-i, that gives more of an indexed look of the output. So you might be wondering, well, where can I find out about all these options? Because ls is really a routine command that people run, similar to present working directory. But what other options of ls are there? There's got to be some more. And the answer is how would you find it? The answer is the ls man page. So to get to your man pages, you type in man for manual, because that's what the man pages are, essentially the missing electronic manual that should have come, I guess you could say, with Linux, but it never did. And then you type in the program that you want the listing of. In this case, it is ls. You press enter, and here is the similar format that I was talking about here, a name, synopsis, and all that. And not all of them are going to be exact, but here's name, synopsis, description. Now to go up and down, I'm just using my my mouse on my mouse pad, I guess you could say. MacBook, one thing I like about MacBook is it does have a decent mouse pad. But in case you were, if you didn't have a good mouse pad, you can just literally go up and down with your up-down arrows. You can go up and down, and then you could go up as I'm doing here, and you can see that now we're in the section where it talks about their arguments. So it goes name, synopsis, description, and here are some of the flag ticks that we can do. And for example, we have, let's look at, inode, this -i or -inode, that prints the index number of each file. At -l that we've used before uses a long listing format. There's -a as well. Where's -a? Let's almost all do not list implied -a or -a or -all. do not ignore entries starting with period. So in other words, that prints them all out. So here are different options. Now to quit, you can type in Q for quit, and then for any program, you can combine the flag. So here's ls-al. So not only will this print not ignore the ones that start with a dot or period, which are hidden files, it will also give you the long listing of all those files. So as you can see, we have we have, not only do we have the hidden files, but we also have more information on those hidden files. Now the other thing is, sometimes we want, you can understand, you can probably see where there is a situation where the output of any one command is too much. So you also can, you can also, I guess you could say, filter what you to do, almost like in a report format. So if your boss asks you for a report, you don't want to give him anything. He's actually asking you to basically filter out certain things. So here we have two programs that within the name of the program literally is hello. They have different extensions. But what if you just wanted to list every program that simply had the word hello in it? You can say ls, and then we want to do -al to make sure we're hitting everything. Then we can filter with the grep command, and then we're going to grep, meaning search for all the programs with hello in it, and we can see that the result is just hello.c and hello.dll. Okay, if we wanted to, for example, just if there's any .python files, .py, and there's no Python file right here. However, if we could create a Python file, so for example, going back here, let's say we said vim sample.py, and then we said print, oops, forgot for the I to add, it just said print hello right here, and WQ, and we can just say Python 3 sample.py, and it just says hello. But what if we wanted to just list all the Python files that we have here, and it only shows one file, sample? Okay, so that is your man page in action, and then we can see under list we have a -L, it shows a detailed view, -A show hidden files.